Hey there, dear friends. Got a little bit to share about today. And now, what I'm going to share about today, if you're in some kind of weary place and you feel like your faith is little and you got a lot going on, it might not benefit you to think about this. But for the person who has got this great desire to know the Lord more, to see more change in yourself, to be made more like the Lord, to really press in to Him, wanting to get to know Him more. If you're in that kind of place, then it could be good to think about. So you have to decide. But this, what I want to share about, has taken, 2, 3, 4, 5 years for it to come together for me to even to be able to explain it. So I hope it'll come across clear. Now, this what I'm going to talk about could really prick your heart, your conscience. It could really hit the innermost of you. So it could be painful. You heard that saying, it says the truth hurts. Well, the truth does hurt many times. But you don't have to be discouraged. We want to bring ourselves, what's within our mind and our heart, out into the light of Christ, that anything that needs to be worked on in us could be revealed. Because I'm sure many of y'all, like I do, have said, Lord, please search my heart and show me anything in there that's offending you. Show me anything that needs to be worked on. But it's not going to be us working on it. It's going to be us just presenting it back to the Lord. Whatever He shows us that's still in here, that may not be quite right, we're just going to give it back to Him so that He can work on it. He has the power to change. He's the one that shapes us and molds us and conforms us into His image. We don't have the power to do that as just little human beings. We don't. That's why we need Him. He is the potter. We are the clay. So if you're able to just be clay for a few minutes and listen and see if the Lord would speak to you, if He would pierce your heart or your conscience or your mind, and then submit to that. And let's not try to hide it, and let's not try to justify it or blame it on anything else or anybody else. So this is the real simple test. This is the real simple thing that you could do if you don't already do it. Is, whatever. We all got circumstances. We all deal with hard things. We all got hard people, right? We do. And you know what I found? Most of the time, the hardest is what's going on within our own house or close by. People we deal with on a constant basis. If we can see it, y'all, that person or that situation, if we can see that the Lord is near and present in all ways of our life, then we won't be so afraid of it or resist it or anything like that. There is a lesson in it. The Lord will use it for your good because He causes all things to work together for our good, right? That includes all the hard people. That includes all the hard situations, whether it be lack, physical sickness, whatever it may be. A difficult spouse, a difficult child, a difficult family member, whatever it is that you have to endure and go through, things that are hard, the Lord will use it for your good. And this, what I'm going to get to, is kind of how the Lord has shown me that He uses those things for our good, And many times we rebuke those people and those hard things. We see it as the devil, the enemy. And y'all, it might be the devil and the enemy in there working. But like in the story of Job, everywhere you see the enemy working, the Lord was right there to make it for good for Job, wouldn't he? So we don't have to fear the hard times and the hard people. Know that it is only serving the transformation that's happening within us. Know that it can only be used for good, as hard as it may be. So let me just give a little example, and I hope you can think about this if you can see it. If the Lord will help us to see, please help us to see, Lord. Okay, for example, y'all, isn't it so much easier to deal with all the like-minded people we have in our lives? Maybe it might even be you feel more comfortable, you feel happier dealing with people on the internet, for example. You know, when we go in these live streams or we watch people's videos, because we can agree with them. They understand the things the way we do. And we can be happy with them and cordial with them, and we feel like we can love them. But y'all, we don't deal with those people's everyday life. We don't deal with all their problems. We're not having to interact and agree and get along on the hard issues. You know, we're agreeing with things about the scriptures and about the truths of the Lord. But for example, when I have to turn and deal with who's in my household, like maybe my husband and my teenagers, we can just use that for example. Now that can be hard, and there's been times I've even said to the Lord, Lord, if I didn't have to deal with my husband, you know, then I could be a good Christian. I could walk along, I wouldn't get angry, I wouldn't break down, I wouldn't act rude and harsh, but he makes me do that. The things he says and the things he does, it makes me be that way. And this is the important thing I hope anybody can grab onto and see, is that no, those people aren't making us do anything. Those people and those circumstances are coming to us, pushing on us, if you will, and out of the overflow of our own heart and our way of thinking and who we are deep within in the inner man, that is what's coming out. So if you find yourself being angry, it's very easy to say, well, if my husband didn't act like that, I wouldn't be angry and mad right now. No. Rather than looking at the husband that's making you mad or angry, or you fill in the blank, look at what response is coming from you. In this case, it's the anger. That is what the Lord is trying to get our attention on. That is the problem. It's the anger within ourselves. That is what we want to acknowledge before the Lord and say, Lord, you know I'm dealing with a hard person. You know how they act towards me. You know how they treat me, Lord. They hurt my feelings. All this kind of stuff. Yes, talk to him about everything you want to talk to him about. And Lord, I feel like if you would fix them, then I wouldn't be so angry. But the Lord, this is very personal. He wants to fix you. Yeah, leave that servant to him. Leave that other person that was created in his image to him. He will surely change them too. But first, recognize what it is that keeps coming up from you. Is it anger? Is it fear? Is it worry? Do you keep facing situations to where there's not enough money, losing jobs, you're in need? Well, what response is coming out of you to those things? Is it worry? Well, then what we need the Lord to fix is not necessarily what's going on around us, but what we need Him to fix is this worry that we still have in our heart. Because when we're worrying, we're not trusting Him, are we? And can you see that maybe He wants to build your faith and let you know that you can have peace in the middle of the hard times? And you can have hope and confidence in your heart and mind, even when these hard circumstances are coming towards you. You know? That He can cause you to be firm and stand strong in faith in Him, come what may. Because y'all, these hard situations and hard trials and everything that happens in life, they're not going to stop. The Lord is wanting us to remember the testing of our faith. It's just test, if you can see it that way. And they're coming that we might gain perseverance and endurance in our walk with Christ. That more and more our eyes would be set like flint on Him. So come what may, hard people, hard situations, somebody cussed me out, I lost my job, we can still remain rooted and grounded, standing on the rock that is secure. And we can keep going forward in faith, in endurance, and perseverance, enduring with the Lord as we walk out the rest of our days here on this earth. And all these temporary things and temporary problems will pass away. And we will be made stronger because of it. So then when it comes the next time that a hard person comes and a hard situation comes, we'll have more faith to walk through it. We'll learn the lessons that the Lord has for us. So, yeah, that's the thing. We don't want to avoid and ignore and all these kind of things. For example, like I said, say if it's your husband or that hard person, whoever it is, you know? Because whatever they're coming and pressing on us, say they're giving us insults, say that they're putting us down, whatever comes out of your own heart, that is the issue that the Lord wants to work on. Because you remember, out of the overflow of your own heart, the mouth will speak. So if you find yourself cursing and angry and rage and bitterness and whatever comes out, that is within your heart. It's not that person's fault that you acted that way or spoke that way or you're thinking that way. It's not their fault. It's so easy to think that, Lord, if you would remove them and shut them up and fix them, I would be all right. No, the Lord has a work to do in our heart. You know, and He's only letting us be aware of what is in our own heart. But the problem is, like I did for years, I didn't realize that's what was going on. I present it to you to think about, talk to the Lord about, ask Him, say, is this the truth? And the next time that somebody does something and it causes something, you react. Ever how you react, y'all, that's coming out of your own heart. And more, the Lord wants us to have a heart of love. So that if my husband comes railing at me, putting me down, whatever the case may be, is that there's a heart of love here that can respond to him in gentleness, with a soft answer that might turn away his wrath, with a heart that could overlook his offenses, love that might go and cover the multitude of his sin. You see? But first the Lord has to root out of us any dead branch that doesn't bear fruit. I know I don't want to even go into that. That's another concept. But y'all, the Lord is still pruning and working in us, cutting off every dead branch in us that does not bear fruit, the fruit of the Spirit. And I'm not saying focus on yourself, but I am saying we've asked the Lord to show us what we're made of, who we really are. What is still going on where you live, Lord? You live in the heart of the mind. What do you say that I cannot say? And many times it takes hard people and hard situations coming and pressing on us that out of the overflow of our heart, we might see what's still in our own heart. So the point of that is, though, is whatever you realize, you might realize that you're a jealous person. The Lord might reveal that to you because He's correcting the one He loves. He's not going to keep you in the dark about your own heart and mind. He's going to let you know what's there, what He sees, because He sees us through and through. He knows what lies in the darkness. He does. And He wants to rid us of it, heal us of it, change our very nature, our heart and our mind, renewing us to be more like Him. And in order to do that, these things have to be presented before Him. So whatever comes out, whatever you notice yourself being, do you find yourself feeling jealous thoughts? Do you find yourself feeling a lot of self-pity? Do you find yourself feeling like you're not good enough? Do you find yourself having a hard time to forgive? Do you find yourself thinking that everybody else is wrong and their opinions are not right, and you have all the answers and the knowledge and the wisdom? Whatever you find, whatever the Lord shows you, if you will let Him search your heart, that is what to present to Him. That is offering your body a living sacrifice. Each and every day, whatever He might reveal to you, bring it back to Him. Say, all right, Lord, like for me, let's say, what's something lately? Oh, that, overlooking offenses is a good one for me. I'm really working on that, especially with my teenage daughter. See, I might be tempted to look at my teenage daughter and think, you shouldn't talk like that. You're ill all the time. You're hormonal. It's raging, and you're taking it out on me. But see, it's pressing on me. Her behavior sometimes, her actions, her words might be short and cutting. It's pressing on me. And what's coming out of me might be that I'm quick to be offended with the way she acts, or quick to be offended at the way she speaks. That is what I'm taking to the Lord. Lord, please change me so I might be long-suffering with her, patient with her, overlooking the offenses that might come from my daughter. That is what I'm presenting to the Lord. I cannot fix it. My only hope is in the author and the finisher of my faith. My only hope is in the potter, that He would change my mind and change my heart and work within me to change this about me. And that's what He's doing, little by little. But it takes the circumstances that are hard. It takes my daughter being ill sometimes, pushing on me, that it comes out. And see, every time it happens, I've got another opportunity, another chance to practice not being quick to be offended. If I fail in it and mess up and fire back, well, I'll just talk with the Lord about it. Lord, I'm sorry. I had a chance to overlook that offense, but I didn't. Lord, please help me. Help me going forward the next time. And y'all, little by little, we start seeing change there until eventually we're more like the Lord, that we're not quick to be angered. We're not quick to be offended. And we can accept people, be patient, long-suffering with them. You see, that's like something the Lord's working with me on. I know this got real long, but I encourage you, the next time a hard thing comes, a hard situation, a hard person, and you may not have to wait long. It could happen today, and most likely will. Whatever thoughts, feeling, emotion, whatever your reaction is, take that to the Lord. That is a weakness you have, right? Remember, the power of Christ is perfected in your weakness. So if you find a lot of weaknesses about yourself, it's not a bad thing. There's a lot of room for the Lord to come and work in you. And y'all, don't care whichever way he comes. I want him to dwell within me, working and changing and pruning, planting and uprooting and doing his amazing work that he does. That's what he's faithful to do. That's what he's devoted to you to do, conforming you into his image. We only just need to recognize it and just acknowledge whatever comes up within ourselves. Give that to the Lord. And wait. It takes time to process. And he'll fix it. And you'll start seeing yourself having more patience, having more fruits of the Spirit. We got to trust him for that. So the reminder is, don't focus on the person that's doing wrong to you or the situation that's hard. Focus on, what does this bring up out of me? Acknowledge that. Confess that. Take that to the Lord. And trust that he'll fix it. Because he's coming and he's searching our hearts and mind. He's dwelling in our hearts and mind. He will renew our hearts and mind if we'll let him. So I love y'all.